2 years ago, I quit my job, changed careers, moved out of my flat, moved to a new city and started a new job all in one weekend. So spend the morning with me while I tell you all about it. So for context, I have an English degree, I worked in education for 3 years, I trained to be a secondary school English teacher and I quit. When I started working in education, I genuinely thought that was going to be what I would do for the rest of my life. I quickly came to the realisation that it wasn't the career for me. It wasn't anything to do with the school I was at. I had a lot of comments about why didn't you just change schools. It was the career as a whole for me just wasn't suited to me. One key defining point, for example, being that I used to say to my mentor, I just loved sitting, planning the lessons, but when it got to actually delivering the lesson, I did not enjoy that as much. I just wanted to sit behind the screen, plan my little lessons, drink my little coffee. I wanted an office job, let's be honest. Teaching is a very outwardly facing job. You are constantly having social interactions. And even though I'd call myself an extroverted introvert, I found it so draining. At this point, I was 24 years old and I was still in my uni city. So I'd stayed on, but most of my friends had moved out. So I was on my own, hating my job, questioning my career and thinking, what on earth am I doing? And what really solidified it was a quote that I saw that said, if you carry on doing what you're doing, carry on going down the road that you're going down, where will you be in 5 years' time? And that terrified me. But nobody talks about how scary it is to leave something when you've committed to it for so long. It's kind of the same as leaving a bad relationship. You've committed to that person, you've imagined your life panning out in a certain way, and you've got to just let it all drop. Not to mention the hours I'd spent training to be a teacher and the amount of sleepless nights, the amount of effort that was just all going to go to waste. Plus, I felt that everywhere around me, everyone was progressing in their careers, doing really well, getting promotions, and I was going right back to the bottom. And I think the worst part of it is I actually had no idea what else I wanted to do. So spoiler alert, I ended up going into marketing and I found out all about marketing because it's actually what my boyfriend does. Plus, I already had my English degree and whenever I would type in writing jobs, content jobs, something that I could use my English degree for, it was all marketing roles. And the application stage was tough. It was a wild ride. Coming home from a job you're already trained by and then having to apply for roles that you've not qualified for all night is a humbling experience, to say the absolute least. I'm running out of time, but I'll do another video all about my application stage, what I did, how I got my interviews, etc, etc. So stick around for part 2.